Jays win 8-1. I'm going to say that again. 8-1 in the final game of a mini 2-game set against the St. Louis Cardinals at Busch Stadium. Kevin Gausman on the mound for the Blue Jays, looking as good as he's looked this entire season, but this time he had run support, so he was actually able to win the game. His pitch count went up a little bit, so he's only get through 6 innings of this one, but he looked super effective. His patented combo of a fastball at the top of the zone and the wipeout splitter that absolutely makes hitters look foolish had the Cardinals on the ropes the entire game, despite the fact that I think they should be a little more familiar with Kevin, given that he was in the National League the last couple of years. Whatever. They had no answer for him whatsoever. He was able to rack up, I think, 8 strikeouts is what he finished with. A very effective performance from Kevin, as we have come to expect. Great stuff. That's not the star of the show. The star of the show is, 8 runs. This team scored 8 runs. Offense. Remember offense? Man, I missed offense. Danny Jansen with the big hit, capital T, capital B, capital H, a 3-run dong off the left field foul pole. He absolutely murdered this ball. He probably could have gone into the second deck if it hadn't gone off the dong pole. I'm going to call it that from now on. He had 2 home runs in this game, and the other one was absolutely crushed over the left field bullpen, and that's a feat at this ballpark. That's a long way. Danny had a real nice game. Getting him hot would be really well timed because you know he's going to be in the lineup as Hyun-Jin Ryu opens the series against Anaheim in a couple days. And Danny, of course, is Hyun-Jin's personal catcher. So you know he's going to be in there. Him feeling good about himself and swinging a hot stick would be very well timed. Vladimir Guerrero also remembered how to hit home runs and, more importantly, remembered how to hit a ball not directly into the ground. He smoked a ball over the left field bullpen too. It was a mammoth shot. It was a solo home run, so doesn't really move the needle on the hitting with runners in scoring position thing, but still, the idea that he can get back to hitting home runs is very nice. Someone posted on Reddit some hitting stats of Vlad from after he got stepped on the hand in New York. It was scary stuff. He was like a 230 hitter with very little pop, and he's been that way for like weeks. And that's scary because it's not just like he's not feeling good right now, or he's cold right now, or some other kind of ephemeral thing. No, it's like a concrete time. Dude got stepped on the hand, and you need your hands to hit the baseball. So the idea that maybe he's coming out from under that maybe his hand is a little bit back to normal, that his swing path is back to normal, that he's feeling more comfortable, whatever kind of ephemeral thing, as I was saying before, whatever kind of ephemeral thing needs to happen for him to get back to hitting like him. If that started to happen, that would be good news. George Springer had a triple, which is to say that this guy Donovan in right field, who is not a right fielder very clearly, lost it in the lights. And he looked pretty bad doing it. He looked like kind of like an animation from a fighting game when a guy gets stunned. It was kind of like lolling his head a little bit right afterwards. It was comical. I don't mean to laugh at the guy's misfortune. I'm sure he's a lovely dude, but he plays for the other team, so Bo had a couple hits, Kirk had a hit, Tapia had a hit, some good vibes all throughout the lineup. Now, it wasn't all sunshine and roses. Santiago Espinal, who's had a 16-game hit streak, and that's sad, but whatever, man. You're absolutely killing it. Just keep doing you. The real problem is Teoscar Hernandez. I mean, Arash Madani's been saying it, Hazel May's been saying it, trying to hype him up, talking about how, he's close, he's feeling good, he's having better at-bats, he's making solid contact. Baloney. I didn't see any of that. Guy is hitting ground balls directly at fielders or weakly popping up for balls that hang up for 6 or 7 seconds and are really easy to catch. And for the guy who's supposed to be protecting Vlad, that's not what you want. Look, we all know what's in there. The guy's got back-to-back Silver Slugger awards for a reason. His track record is too good for too long to have been a fluke. We know it's in there. But right now, he doesn't have it. Danny's going good. Santiago's going good. Bo's doing good. There's enough guys who can protect Vlad and George at the top of the lineup that you don't need Teo to be going right now, and he certainly doesn't need to be hitting 4th or 5th. I think if Jano's going, bump him up, bump Teo down until he figures it out. We know he will, but in the meantime, let's give him some lower leverage at bats, say. My major takeaway from this game is how absurd it is that one big hit is all it takes. With this pitching staff, one big hit is all it takes to take games like this and turn them into laughers. And considering how close it feels like every game the Blue Jays have played has been, that shows that they've never got the one big hit for weeks. I watch the highlight packages of other games, and obviously that's not going to tell the whole story by their very nature. But I'm seeing some perfectly ordinary hitters hitting some perfectly regular big hits when the team needs it. And the fact that no one on this club has been able to do that consistently at all for 7 weeks blows my mind. There's so many games in this season that you can pinpoint, but last night is probably the biggest concern. One big hit, and the Blue Jays win that game. Just one. I'm not talking like they need to blow out every team every game. I'm not talking about they need to have a tour de force offensive performance. I'm talking one big hit, just one. They got one big hit tonight, and it turned to an 8-1, easy peasy lemon squeezy kind of win. If the Blue Jays have been able to pull out even just a handful of more big hits, just like a couple of singles in big spots, I'm not even talking home runs, just a couple of singles with guys on, I wonder if the narrative of this whole season changes. If the Jays are like 2 or 3 wins richer and no one's really talking about them not being able to hit in big spots, we're talking about how production's down a little bit, but we're sure they're going to come around. As opposed to this, like, we're talking about it like it's a crisis right now, because it is. That one big hit, that one big Danny Dong, that was the difference in this game. And it's thrown into sharp relief how few of our games have had that one big hit, Danny Dong or no. Did I form that second sentence just so I could say Danny Dong a second time? Yes, I did. Anyway, this game felt good. This game felt really good. I think if you saw my last video, you'd understand how the negativity had kind of been building up in me a little bit, and I kind of vented it. I used the word vent. Yes, I definitely needed to vent in that last game. So the negativity was real and it was all-encompassing. So a night like tonight, where the offense performed, like the pitching just kept humming along like it has been, when everything seemed to be following the plan, this was finding the oasis in the desert. This really was a life-affirming kind of win, in the same way that last night's loss was a faith-shaking kind of loss. This was a faith-affirming kind of win. I want this to be the turning point. I want this to be when the team just kind of like breathed out, remembered who they were, just hit dingers, baby, and went back to being the 2021 Blue Jays. I want this to be the case. I'm not ready to call that just yet. There have been more than a few instances when Bo, Vlad, George, even Teo had a couple of hits in a game. You're like, oh, okay, great, here we go. Now they're back. No, now they're back to 0 for the next game. We've seen it too often, it's happened too often, and they've been cold for too long for one game to be the bellwether of anything. I want to believe that it's the case, but I think it's hard to call that. But a win's a win. We'll take it, considering how bad they looked last night. They looked a whole lot better tonight. Tonight was easy, and now we get positive vibes built up for what should be a really tough 4-game series in Anaheim. Shohei Ohtani takes the ball in Game 1 against Hyunjin Ryu in an apparent mismatch. But hey, if guys are swinging it, if guys are feeling good, they can beat anybody, right? Let's go with right. Let's go with that, because the idea of Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout on the same team does terrify me, and we get to see that up close. Yeah. Okay, we're not going to linger on that because that's the future, and the future is unknowable. Tonight, we won. Tonight is good. Thank you very much for watching this video. Thank you very much for watching this channel. Like and subscribe if you are so inclined. I will see you starting night after next for the first game of a 4-game set in Anaheim. Late night baseball. Always a good time unless you have a day job, when it's probably less of a good time. Anyway, see you then.